Hey, Lake Wapagasset Lutheran Bible Camp, Inc. I'm Paul Hill, your new executive director, and it's an honor for me to be a steward of all things related to this camping organization. It's a great legacy. We've got a great ministry. A unique part of that legacy is the tight relationship that has existed between the camp and the congregations. It's reflective of the biblical understanding of how religious socialization happens. In the Bible, the way that faith has formed in people is through that tent. How you like my high-end graphics, by the way? Through the tent, the temple, and then the synagogue. Now, biblically speaking, the tent was home as church too. That's what we get in Deuteronomy. And the temple was always understood as the temple in Jerusalem, and we would say for our purposes today, the congregation. But what is synagogue? Well, really, that didn't happen until around 587 BC during the Babylonian captivity. They needed new ways of pulling the people together to hear about and to study and learn and stay enmeshed in God and in Yahweh. And so the synagogue took shape. And it took shape in a lot of different ways. Sometimes it was a tent. Later on, it actually became a stone temple. And so the tent, the synagogue, and the temple kind of created what I call one of this ecosystem of faith nurture. You have the home, you have the congregation, and then sometimes you would have these mountaintop experiences that took place often in the synagogue. And you need all three for this ecosystem of faith nurture to happen. I call it blurred church, where synagogue and temple and tent are all mixed up together, and in that process, human beings grow in faith. For our day, one expression of synagogue would be camps. Camps are a vital part of that mix of faith formation, and so camps are church too. Home is church, congregation is church, and camps are church too. The challenge is that right now what's happening in our congregations and in our homes is parents don't necessarily feel capable of being faith transmitters, and congregations are shrinking or less effective. And so when people go to camp, they get this kind of experience. They go up the mountain and then it falls off the other side. And so what we're always trying to do at camp is build up this ecosystem so that parents, congregation, and camp work in partnership to create this ecosystem of faith nurture. Camp can be a very big catalyst. And ironically, by the way, the place where you see this happening today is in our summer camp staffs. When you talk to the summer camp staffs, they will talk about their experiences at camp as both a new home, it's a new family. They'll talk about it as a temple, as a place of worship, as their congregation. And they will also talk about it as a synagogue experience of working out of a camp. So what happens is temple, tent, and synagogue get all mixed up together. I call that blurred church. That's exactly what we want to see happening. And I think WAPO and Lake Wapagasset Lutheran Bible Camps, all four camps, can be catalytic to creating this blurred church. We got to build it all back up. In order to do that, our organization, we need three strong legs in our organization. We need a strong executive director, you need a strong staff, and you need a strong board. And you need all three of those, and that creates a table. If any one of those three legs is weak, the table falls over. So what we're trying to do now at Lake Wapagasset Lutheran Bible Camps, working with the board, working with congregations, working with the staff, is making sure we have three strong legs: strong director, strong board, and strong staff. Here's what's needed from all of you members and board members this fall that will help us keep strong and build that ecosystem of faith nurture. We need everybody to work hard to either equal or increase their annual fund giving to the organization, because we gave out almost $130,000 in scholarships this past year, totally free. And we did that because we were confident you all would go back to your congregations, go back to your own personal lives, and ask, how can I support the creating of this ecosystem of faith nurture, and especially support what's happening with Lake Wapagasset Lutheran Bible Camp? So there is a tendency in all organizations to say, if I'm a member and if I give a gift, then I ought to get a benefit. That's not the way to think about this. Think about it this way: blurred church, congregations supporting synagogues, synagogues supporting homes and congregations, or camps supporting homes and congregations. Think church, not member and benefit. Think partnership, not benefits. Think faith formation, not just rental space. And think making disciples, not just using that facility over there. Lake Wapagasset Lutheran Bible Camp is church. We're all blurred and connected with all of you. We want to create this ecosystem of faith nurture so that when parents, families, youth come from homes and congregations, they come to camp. When they leave camp, there is a home and a congregation waiting for them. We want to avoid this and build this. Anything you guys can do to equal or match your giving from last year, or to even increase this year, would be very helpful for Lake Wapagasset Lutheran Bible Camps. If your congregation has never given a gift to support the annual fund, then I'd suggest, why don't you start with a gift of $1,000? See how that would work in your congregation. We need each other to create blurred church. And when we do this, faith will form and we'll make the next generation of disciples. Thanks for letting me speak with you today. God's blessings.